I know. So it's just kind of funny. I wonder if I'm thinking of Jeremy and stuff. I wonder if they realize they'll have like hypocrisy of like agreeing like, but the Bible, because I'm questioning their Bible, but then they're like getting questioned about, emptying your mind. I just
Oh,
thought you two
hypnotherapy,
knew.
because then they're hypnotizing you and giving you new thoughts. So I brought that up, but like I was homeschooling and home.
Want to say prosperity project saying like how much money Alberta will have, which is probably actually under.
Welcome to Delaware.
And
Sorry.
this. So, anyways, it's just this weird thing where he'd be willing to literally shoot himself in the fucking foot out of his pride that he's fucking Canadian. And it's like this weird ass. Well, it's a brainwashing. It's a brainwashing. That's a brainwashing. It's a brainwashing that Canadians think they're morally superior than other humans. Yet Canadians think they're morally superior than other humans. Yet it's like absolute. Like I think that's the only way they can brainwash Canadians. So you gotta brainwash them to be convinced, and you gotta portion them that you are just, you're a good Canadian, morally superior. You would rather become broke and be homeless than have independence. Okay.
It's gonna do what you feel like doing. So
Yes.
kind what you've been trained to do.
No. Well, what you've been indoctrinated, trained, and brainwashed to, right? So I am realizing definitely that brainwashing is deep. There are people that have some programs they've broken down, and then still other programs that they're attaching to. But I'm sure plugged in one. I'm like, I could be wrong. What does it matter? It's like turn around. I get more evidence, I'll change my opinion.
That's what I have said to everybody, because it was something like I posted. My God. Okay, so it's like literally anytime I post something, on, well, let's say Facebook about the amount of immigrants in 2025.
Yes.
Or how they're getting like their wages 50%, they get cost of living.
Subsidized, yeah.
Yeah, they're fully subsidized, right? That it's always what's his face? Grammar Nazi Jim.
Oh, Jim, yeah.
Asking for proof that I submit. I'm like, it's not my opinion. This is just something I saw. The website looks reputable. And I'm just gonna put it out here that John Lessig's always like,
Yeah.
right? And somebody else will be like, yeah, this seems pretty reputable. Like, kind of like we can, we can see it firsthand in our province and other places we've traveled to, right? So, like, it's quite apparent that,
It's quite apparent in Canada that there's not white people working. You come here.
And the quality of
there's
services
white
at every restaurant
are
has
bad.
landslidden because
They don't even
who's working there.
all the stories they're talking about and like what people's experiences are is like people are stopping going to any of these places because it's just so bad with all these fucking people that are not Canadians, don't want to fit into Canada, don't know how to barely speak English, and they've got the jobs, and then we have all these students that can't get jobs. Like it's this weird, like it is a deep Stockholm syndrome because these people identify with the government so much, they identify with their abuser so much that they are willing to take more abuse over a change to not be abused. I'm like, you're obviously that guy's perspective is taxation is not theft. That's clearly not his perspective.
They even brought it up and we're having social hour with Fab, like Unleash You Now on Wednesday. It was like, because James Mueller's like, when you come into Jersey, it's like, oh, my plans changed, and then I got an invite to Nashville, so I will just go to Nashville and go meet those people and I've got one warning about them, so I'm like, okay, it's not like everything's a pitch fest, but unless you go to meet people and take photos with them, or get there. You just don't know. And you're like, no, completely not interested. There's people all over the place.
All I could think of.
Okay.
And that's like the same thing. Like the spirituality and me having to justify my spirituality is like that state, like it's essentially that same fucking example of like somebody being, well, I heard this, now you need to justify this. What?
Well, no. So it's weird because Jay.
So I heard, okay, great, you've given me stuff, but I have to go and experience it myself.
Yeah, well,
But then experience leaving me to have my personal spiritual experience is wrong. But what? But then you're supposed to do that in every other part of your life.
mm-hmm. So it was just like, oh well, I'm planning to be there. My schedule changed.
Yeah.
So rather than being there now, we're gonna just hold it off until I absolutely have to be there. And then Faber's like, of course he's in Delaware. We got no tax. You guys love your tax in New Jersey.
That's funny.
So I'm like, oh, okay, there's probably multiple reasons why Faber's family came this way, right? But they came from New York.
They were looking, people want to move. When you do leave and make a big move, you want to not be paying as much taxes.
Apparently, when I
whatever
meeting I didn't go to, they're like, "You missed it. It was like Raw or something." I was like, "What are you guys talking about?"
For which group?
Unleash You Now.
Oh.
But then it's like, okay, people are just going to talk about, all of their challenges and their addictions. It's like, oh, I went from this to this to this. It's like. That's why I was like, when we met Jeremy, I'm like, I didn't know he flipped. I didn't know he was into buying properties and flipping them. And then he's like, oh, look at this one. This one. Yeah, like, oh, you totally nerded out on showing me around the properties. But then he's like, kept bringing up the HUD program. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. You don't know it. I'm like, I'm not American. We don't have this. You must have a way for poor people to afford homes. And I'm like, this is the one thing I teach people to not do is rely on governments. The one thing I focus my efforts on is making sure people don't rely on the government. Yet most businesses, especially in the U.S., it's all based on VA loans, right? Veterans Affairs loans and getting veterans back into work and buying homes. And is that dog running on a leash by itself?
It's by itself walking beside the bar.
Okay. I just something in the shadows there. Still speeding. Okay.
That's supposed to be the flooding here, right?
When I looked at the weather forecast last night, there was no warnings about here, but it was like mainland. So we can go check because I haven't actually looked at Nashville warnings or anything like that. I did get an email yesterday to confirm the thing in Nashville was still on, so not realizing it was wet. Oh no, because we shifted our reading. Okay, I didn't even know. I was like, whatever. I'll just have to tell them that Julio has to fill in with me on my lines in acting practice. Which I think
there might be 1 to 2 millimeters of rain.
Oh,
doesn't it?
I don't know how much dog food you're going to drive around with.
Since it's flooding, my God.
Huh?
She could just be flooded away. The dogs, and my silver, and my daughter.
feel like it shouldn't be 50 here, but it feels like it's 50. Here's people here. Crazy.
It's 25.
Yeah, I see that change. Up here somebody's 25. Capital is pink. Pink and stone. Going straight.
Yeah, I didn't really fight with everything. Because all I could think of was like, God, all three of us went live today.
I didn't do YouTube. Mine was Facebook, but
We all went live. And I'm like, my God. Then I'm like, get my daughter to make content because there's like no jobs left. Like, is there anything to do? No, go make content. That's your
well,
only
there's
thing. Or you gotta be super fucking smart and be coming up with a new robot slash AI slash 0 point tech and be interested in that
no,
shit.
but you still have to attract an audience to that. At the end of the day, it's of okay, which way am I going here?
Mm-mm.
Go that way?
No,
No,
that's
it's
not.
turning.
That's yeah. I'm saying.
That's one way.
That's why I said no.
That's
I was
one
like,
way. Well, no, you went, You say no, you went,
I had water in my mouth
Yeah.
because I'm like, wait, no, don't go that way. No.
It looks awkward.
Well, it looks awkward because that's not the way you're supposed to go.
2 hour parking. Lock down over here, 2 hour parking.
I did open up one of my live at one point because she started making
I went on.
comments.
I went on.
I saw my
comments.
Mystic make a comment, right? So I was like, okay, Penelope's on.
I did go on it just because I saw that you're getting challenged, and then I realized there's just somebody in there dropping penis jokes or dick, and then yeah, I was like,
I even missed that because
oh no, I was like the first thing I saw. It's like really.
they go live for the public. You can get anything, right? One of Penelope's lives, like the reason she gave me mod was that one of her lives, she had somebody who's like just started spamming about gold, and I was like, okay, it would have been fine, but then you just kept posting about it in there, right? So I don't know if it's, I assume it's some kind of bot. I'm like, why was this targeted? But I'm like, okay, so then this way I can go in and like block them from commenting because there was already somebody. Oh, the one that kept bugging Penelope at the front at the beginning that her screen was dirty. I just kept posting it and posting it after she acknowledged it, right? I'm like, okay, this person's annoying. So I like block them from commenting for like I think it was like 30 minutes, right? And I'm like,
Facebook, Instagram, you'll know because it's literally who's following you, right? And you either know them or you don't. Really, YouTube's like, yep. All the other socials, you can't really hide behind unless it's a business account, you can't really hide behind a false persona. But
so
YouTube,
is that why some people don't want to do YouTube because legitimately they don't necessarily know who's interacting with them? Where the walled gardens, there's less
I find
anomaly.
if people are men trying to live off the only shoes, but switch apartments all the time. Switch apartments all the time. But you can see she's on her journey and her weight loss journey is going well, and this is going well. And she's like, I said, like, you did a lot of content on TikTok. Just repurpose that. You don't even have to make new shit. Just repurpose it. But
I do wonder
if I convince Faber to be like, hey, you gotta get people like everywhere, it's while you're building up this trajectory.
he needs to be.
But no, that's the one thing is people, if you've got commenting on YouTube, you really don't know. But it's the same people. People got no issue going on TikTok. Yeah, TikTok's just fucking telling everybody you're live. Not just so. And people are doing their dating stories or their makeup routines or their dishes in front of a TikTok audience. So why is YouTube any different?
I don't know. This ear is bothering me so much.
Got to put some peroxide on it.
Yeah.
It's
But I don't have any right now, and I'm like, oh god, it's plugged. And I'm sitting here, and it'd be nice if I would have. It wasn't plugged when I left.
Well, we never really made up a time. It's like, what stuff you like? What stuff you like? And I'm like, are you talking about food? I'm like, seafood's great. And then the place, I'm like, I think we've already been here before, but you guys must have really loved this place. There's a couple places we went last time, so.
There's like 5 people in Delaware, Mike.
There's a ton, but we're going to Rehoboth Beach. Like, it's all.
I know.
It's like one busy strip with restaurants. It inspired Jeanette to make 2 YouTube accounts.
She made content
I don't think so.
That's all great, except for you. No content.
I think it's like she wants one for the business and then one with like outings with her mother. Because I posted something from vidIQ today, right? So I was like, oh, vidIQ is just sending me a newsletter with like all their tips and tricks because I know they train content creators. So it's like perfect. I'm just gonna copy paste it, screenshot it, and paste it.
But clearly, they realize that if nobody's making content and getting people to view, then they don't have a business.
That's YouTube.
Exactly.
That's why when I met that.
Like,
That's why I met that. That's why I met the meta girl. She's that Jose's friend. She's like, oh, the amount of ads Q4 last year is more than any other ad spend on Meta. So now it's like, can we give this back to? Well, the one training people on automating your social media with AI and your offers and pricing and your courses and all that stuff because she's obviously built something out over the last 6, 7 years. Um, but she mentioned she wasn't.
So now it's like, can we give this back to, well, the one training people on?
I'm listening to you.
Okay, well, that's annoying because now it's going to be double feed on there. Because that's
I was just seeing if the volume was on.